Oh my god. They killed Chef. You bastards! You bastards!
Are you sure that's the direction you want to go? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 TV shows that killed off the wrong character. For this list, we're taking a look at the TV characters whose deaths were a mistake for the TV shows they appeared on, for a variety of reasons. Consider yourself warned, a spoiler alert is now in effect. Number 10, Brian Griffin, Family Guy.
Ah, crap. Since when did they change the meaning of for to from?
I think they had a meeting about it last night.
Why wasn't I told?
They sent you a card, but it said for Peter on it, so you must have thought it was from you, so you didn't, it's just easier to call you stupid.
The sarcastic talking dog of the Griffin family is one of the funniest characters on Family Guy, or at least he used to be. During the episode Life of Brian, the pooch is hit by a car in the street.
Brian, look out! No, Brian!
Oh my god! Brian! Brian, can you hear me?
Holy crap, what the hell happened?
That guy sucked.
Surrounded by the family, Brian dies after delivering a tearful farewell. After briefly being replaced, Brian is then resurrected a few episodes later.
Brian, look out! What the hell? You're alive, my friend!
What? Of course I'm alive. What the hell's going on here?
Killing Brian off in this manner only to bring him back was derided by many as emotionally manipulative.
You've given me a wonderful life. I love you all.
This, paired with the character's perceived decline since his resurrection, as well as that of the show as a whole, has turned many fans off of the series. Number 9, Ianto Jones, Torchwood. This darker Doctor Who spin-off was no stranger to killing off characters, but this one arguably hurt the most. Ianto Jones may not have been the most specialized member of the titular team, not having an assigned role, but he always managed to come through in a clutch. Furthermore, his relationship with the hyper-omnisexual team leader Captain Jack Harkness proved extremely popular with fans.
Are you asking me out on a date?
Interested?
Well, as long as it's not in an office. Some fetishes should be kept to yourself.
So when a fatal virus causes Ianto to die in the immortal Jack's arms, many viewers were understandably upset.
It's all my fault. No, it's not. Just don't speak, save your breath. I love you. Don't.
And not only for robbing them of their favorite romantic pairing, but also because of the unfortunate trend in media that sees non-hetero characters die more frequently. But more on that later.
Ianto. Don't go. Don't leave me, please. Please don't.
Number 8, Nicholas Brody, Homeland.
My name is Nicholas Brody, and I'm a sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I have a wife and 2 kids who I love.
A former POW held by Al-Qaeda, Nicholas Brody finds himself torn between a sense of loyalty to his family and the captors who converted him, and it makes for fascinating TV.
And what exactly does she think you are?
A terrorist?
And you're not?
No, I'm not.
You should know that everything that you say in here will be used against you in your trial. You should also know that you are facing a possible death sentence.
I want a lawyer.
However, Brody's story came to an end in Homeland Season 3 when he's executed by Iranian authorities, despite Carrie offering to save him. Although the creator of the show believed that Brody's story reached a natural conclusion, fans were less than convinced, and many would have liked to see his tale continue, as Brody had been part of the initial draw of the show and his absence was definitely felt after he left. Number 7, Ragnar Lothbrok, Vikings. A charismatic and ambitious Viking, Ragnar Lothbrok begins the story as a farmer, but rises to become a king.
I did not become king out of ambition, but once again, I had no choice as a result of other people's actions. But nonetheless, I am king. King Ragnar. That is my name.
But in the show's 4th season, as his mistakes catch up to him, he decides to hand himself over to King Eöl, hoping that his death will inspire his people to seek vengeance.
Who's gonna do it then? Who's gonna kill me? And I don't mind. Go ahead.
Ragnar's execution is hard to watch, not only for its brutality, but also because the show is killing off its main character.
This hero that comes into Valhalla does not lament his death. I shall not enter Odin's hall with fear.
Following his death, Ragnar's sons take center stage, but the lack of a central focus and Ragnar's sons not measuring up to his legacy has left many fans unsatisfied.
Deliver me, O Lord, from mine enemies!
Number 6. Cottonmouth, Luke Cage. Cornell Cottonmouth Stokes is the criminal kingpin of Harlem in this Marvel show.
What about turning the other cheek?
Jesus saves. I don't.
While an unapologetic murderer and gangster, Cottonmouth has an undeniable magnetism, and his enjoyment of what he does, even if it's terrible, makes him incredibly compelling.
Sweet system.
Then, halfway through the show's first season, Cottonmouth is murdered by his cousin Mariah Dillard over an insensitive remark.
No! I said no!
From there on, he's replaced by Dillard and another villain, Diamondback, for the rest of the season, resulting in an arguably uneven tone. Cottonmouth was arguably a better villain than both of them combined, and the show lost some of its spark without him. Number 5. Laurel Lance, Arrow. Assistant District Attorney, vigilante, and the one-time girlfriend of Oliver Queen, Laurel Lance was a character whose potential was never fully realized.
Think for a second about what it would do to your father if something happened to you. What you're doing is selfish.
Fighting for your city isn't selfish. It's what a hero would do.
You're not a hero.
Maybe it's best if we stay out of each other's way.
She was replaced as Oliver's love interest and never quite became as tough a vigilante as her peers. In her final season, she does make some notable strides forward.
Whoa, you're really strong.
Go.
Thank you.
This is SCPD. Everyone quickly and quietly evacuate the station.
Unfortunately, this progress is cut short when the season's villain, Damien Dark, kills her to send a message to her father. Laurel's death felt unearned. Worse, it reduced her to a plot point that was used to bolster other characters when she was just coming into her own.
Time of death, 11:59.
Number 4. Rita Morgan, Dexter. The wife of the show's eponymous serial killer, Rita Morgan was Dexter's biggest connection to humanity, and one of the few people he ever really loves.
Yeah, a normal life.
That's all I want. Just that.
No fame and fortune, excitement at every turn.
No, I've had enough excitement. Thank you.
Rita's kindness, which endured despite her past trauma, made her someone for Dexter to look to for guidance.
Please, say yes.
Yes. Yes, we will marry you.
Unfortunately, Dexter's indecision in dealing with another killer ultimately leads to her demise, as Rita is murdered by the Trinity Killer before Dexter can kill him. When he returns home and finds her body in the tub, it's absolutely devastating. Rita was Dexter's rock, and without her, Dexter, both the character and the show, felt adrift thereafter. Number 3. Martin Stein, Legends of Tomorrow. As tempting as it was to choose the death of Leonard Snart, also known as Captain Cold,
Shut it down! Shut it down!
There are no strings on me.
Professor Martin Stein's loss simply hit home more. A scientist and one half of the hero Firestorm, Stein often felt like the only adult on a time ship full of children, but that only made it that much more fun when he did engage in antics with the other legends.
Dale! Daylight come and me wanna go home.
Sadly, while trying to escape a version of Earth overrun by Nazis, Stein gives his life to open the way home for the other heroes.
Please don't do this to me. I can't do this.
You once told me that I was like your father, and I said you were my son. How could a father do anything less?
Great.
His death meant the end of not only his story, but that of his partner Jefferson Jackson, who then took a leave of absence. Stein brought a unique dynamic to the show, one that was sorely missed.
I got used to hearing his voice inside my head, and even now, I can still hear him. Because even though he's gone, he's still a part of me. He's still a part of all of us.
Number 2, Glenn Rhee, The Walking Dead. Despite the outcry at Carl Grimes' death, we're electing to discuss an arguably more damaging death. Glenn Rhee was the relatable everyman in this zombie apocalypse show. He wasn't particularly cool or smart or a good leader, but he always did his part and even found love amidst all the misery the group endured.
Why'd you let these people in? Because we actually know what we're doing out there.
Hey, no! That's enough! I said that is enough!
As such, Negan graphically beating Glenn to death in front of his friends, true to the source material or not, was a breaking point for many fans of the show.
So, back to it.
The fact that Glenn's death occurred right after Abraham's, plus an earlier fake-out death, had many feeling The Walking Dead was too far gone. Before we unveil our most devastating number 1 pick, here are some honorable, or should we say dishonorable, mentions.
I am not letting you die. There's nothing you can do now. The next commander will protect you. I don't want the next commander. I want you.
Looks as if you've lost your way.
Pierce?
Continue on this path and you might miss your last chance to see the Pierce Hawthorne Museum of Gender Sensitivity and Sexual Potency on the Central Quad.
Whatever happens, you have made me the happiest father.
Dad? This time, you're gonna watch your parent die just like I did.
No.
And this is what's gonna make you just like me.
Your mother and I love
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Tara McClay, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. A shy witch who becomes involved with fellow witch Willow, Tara was a later addition to the cast, but a welcome one.
Tara, I have to tell you. No, I understand. You have to be with the person you love. I am.
Her uncertain, quiet demeanor made a welcome change from the more brash or sarcastic members of the Scooby Gang.
You heard me. You want to take Tara out of here against her will? You gotta come through me.
And me?
Is this a joke? I'm not gonna be threatened by 2 little girls.
You don't want to mess with us?
So it was especially shocking that Tara, of all people, ended up dying from a stray bullet fired by a guy after Buffy.
Think again.
Your shirt.
While the previously cited bury your gays trope was certainly a factor for fans' displeasure, viewers were also displeased that none of Willow's subsequent love interests were ever able to measure up. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.